Hi guys, it's Sophie. So this is going to be another of my Mabanckuo International book reviews, and this one is Black Moses by Alain Mabanckuo. Now this book is set in a Marxist People's Republic of the Congo in the 1970s, and that's very important for a lot about what this book is. It's also a really interesting time period and location to look at in combination, seeing like Moscow's ideals in a really different kind of setting. Now this book itself follows our main character, who has an extraordinarily long name, but most people just call him Moses because one of the words in his name means Moses. So his full name means "Thanks be to God, the Black Moses is born on the earth of our ancestors." So no one ever really says his full name, and it's kind of this name that was given to him by like a pastor as something to have almost. So our main character Moses doesn't have very much apart from this name, and that's kind of a big part of who he is. So he's put in an orphanage, and we start his story and we start sort of talking to him when he's in this orphanage. He's a very little kid. And really a lot of the novel focuses around this orphanage experience and sort of how individuals within his life start to disappear with the kind of political climate that's going on. So like the religious figures kind of ease their way out of both the orphanage and his life more generally, and people of different sort of ethnic tribes also lose power and sort of disappear, but he sees this all as like a very strange, like childlike thing. He doesn't really know what's going on, and sees how the director of the orphanage is kind of like grappling with all these forces and trying to maintain control. I found that really interesting, and the book sort of has another sort of flip side to it, which is this portrayal of the streets in a similar kind of time period. I don't want to say too much more than that really about this, just because I think it's the two together kind of form the kind of flip sides of the same coin, if that makes any kind of sense, but they're all kind of focusing on the individual's experience of this time, and it's all done quite it's all written in kind of quite a funny, light style, although it is really heavy themes, and I think that's partly because of the personality, I guess, of our main character that we follow, who is quite joyous and quite young and quite bubbly, and I think it was an interesting way to explore this. Now, this wasn't one of my favourites on the Mabanckuo, but I don't really know why. I think it was a very good book. I just didn't personally enjoy it, if that makes sense. Sometimes I think it's possible to recognise that something has merit without personally finding that you love it. It's not really your kind of thing normally. And yeah, there was just something about it that really didn't gel with me, but I do think this was really good. So if it does sound interesting, then I would recommend like having a go and seeing what you think. And I think I did learn quite a lot from it, whilst I didn't love it. Like, it didn't draw me through the story really quickly or anything like that. The writing's very clear, very direct, it's very realist in style. There's not really many sort of eccentric sort of flicks or turns in the language. It really is just sort of what it is. It reads very nicely and it feels very clean. It's very sort of necessary prose, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think overall, and it's probably a really short review, it feels really short. It's been a while since I've actually spoken behind a camera. I've pre-filmed a lot, so I'm a little bit behind in my head about what I'm talking about, but I think that's really all I wanted to say on this one. I really think it's good, and I think it probably will stay in the shortlist. Now, we've got another week yet from where I am. You'll have this probably later in time. Who knows? We've got another week yet before the shortlist is out, but I will be doing a video on that may already be up. I don't know, I don't really know what my filming schedule's doing. But yeah, so I think I've done 6 now, and I think I have 6 left, and one I've already read, which was Judas. Yeah, so the one I'm reading at the moment, and working my way through this one, is Compass by Matthias Enyard, and it really is one to work your way through. This has been by far the slowest of the Mabanckuos I've read so far. It's not that it's bad, it's very dense, and I think this has slowed my progress down a lot, but luckily I've spaced out my reviews a little bit, so it doesn't feel as though I've read loads and then nothing, which is actually the reality. You've had a pretty steady flow of Mabanckuo videos interspersed with other stuff, but this is the one I'm on at the moment. So I have left Unseen, and I have Bricks and Mortar. And do you know what, I think that's it. I think it's Unseen, Bricks and Mortar and Compass. I think that's the only ones I'm doing, and then War and Turpentine, The historical fiction one about the Sultan I'm not doing, and the Explosion Chronicles, we'll see how I get on. But yeah, so this is the third to last one I'm going to be reviewing. Yeah, and it's going to take me a while. I may accidentally snip in the Unseen first, just because I think that one's going to be fairly quick. So as always, I hope that's been helpful. Hope that has helped you decide whether or not you want to pick this one up. As I say, I think for me, the setting was the most interesting part. Didn't love it, but I have no kind of proper complaints, so I think it's worth giving it a go if you're interested, but it's not one I'm like pushing on people to go and read. But yeah, that's Black Moses. I'll see you guys soon in my next video. Bye bye.